the ability for a small business to make a dent in someone's perception of that business really depended on the budget of that organization. Did you have enough to put a TV commercial? How much is a radio spot going to cost? Maybe it's a black and white magazine, maybe not a color magazine. Is it a local instead of a national, that kind of thing. And so I think what happened, if we can just fast forward through the birth of the internet and how social media came to be, there is a perception that it's free and you should be able to, get the eyeballs of people. But what happens is when everybody thinks it's free and everybody thinks...
That was Jimi Gibson, VP of Brand Communication at Thrive Internet Marketing Agency, TEDx speaker, and a magician. After starting a career in magic as a young kid receiving Merlin's mail-order magic, Jimi was introduced to marketing through an advertising agency. He realized the structure of a magic trick is not unlike a successful marketing message. Sit back and relax as we discuss his journey through magic, marketing, brand storytelling, preparing and presenting a TEDx talk, and how to be a more confident speaker. So welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets podcast with your host, LePaze. So like and share this, and let's get started.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets podcast with LePaze.
This episode is sponsored by FindFlightsAndHotels.com. Looking for the perfect summer vacation destination for you and your family? FindFlightsAndHotels.com has got you covered. From tropical beaches to cultural adventures, our brand new travel website is your one-stop shop for booking the unforgettable family vacation you've been dreaming of. Discover amazing deals, top-rated accommodations, and unbeatable flight options, all in one place. Say goodbye to stress and hello to endless fun in the sun. Don't miss out on creating cherished memories with your loved ones this summer. Visit FindFlightsAndHotels.com now and start planning the getaway of a lifetime.
I'm originally from Virginia. I'm sitting in Charleston, South Carolina right now on the coast with some lovely humidity and heat and palm trees.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hey, I'm from Georgetown, South Carolina.
Oh my gracious, right up the road.
Yeah, born and raised.
Very cool.
I moved to Charlotte like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've kind of taken the southern tour. My wife and I were married about 20 years ago, and she moved to Virginia. And then, it's not a huge snow area, but we got tired of the cold weather. So then we moved to Savannah and then decided Charleston might be another place to check out. So yeah, we've been enjoying it.
Yeah, cool, man. So I read somewhere that you used to be a magician back in the day. How'd you get into that?
Rumors. No, I was digging through some boxes a couple of years ago. I can't believe it. I found this little membership card to Merlin's Mail Order Magic Club. And I looked at the date and I went, wow, I was 4 years old. And so I guess my parents probably signed me up, and I got these little magic tricks. And then somebody gave me a magic kit for my birthday when I was 6. And then in middle school, I went to the local print shop and got some business cards printed up and was doing magic shows for my friends' birthday parties, and their parents would pay me. And I thought, wow, this is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
And then in high school, I started working for an ad agency doing promotional shows for one of their clients. And yeah, just kind of went from there, and had a theater in Myrtle Beach, which is right up the road from Georgetown. Performed a corporate event at the MGM in Las Vegas. I've done a variety of things related to magic, and I've also been in the marketing world, and it seems to have a lot of similarities to the way you structure a magic trick and the way you need to craft a marketing message. So it's always been interesting to me in the psychology of persuasion, and, in a good sense, not trying to trick somebody, but how you need to follow a certain sequence of the way you speak to a potential client, and whether it's in person or online. And yeah, I would say I still do magic shows.
Yeah, that's great, man. I met a guy that was he kind of had the same, he took the same route as you did years ago. I met a guy like, this is like 25 years ago. He was an older guy at the time, and he started off as a street magician. Then he graduated to the stages, and then he started a publishing company and started various businesses. And he told me, man, a lot of stuff that magicians do, they overlap in business. He said, if you really think about it.
It's true. That's what I've found. It's kind of the mindset I get into when I'm thinking about a marketing campaign, for sure.
Yeah, you know. Okay, you used to perform in front of people growing up, in front of your friends and probably family, more than likely.
Yep.
So what made you go into business?
Well, I think I mentioned I had worked for an ad agency in high school, and where everybody else is sort of cutting the grass or working at a fast food restaurant, I'm out doing shows for this company. And there was a gentleman who was also a magician who was in charge of that account. So I got to go to the ad agency, and I thought, wow, if I wanted to study something and have a career that would go hand in hand with magic, I think it would be marketing or advertising. And so I went to school for that. And when I got out of school, I was actually a graphic designer, and then was able to work my way up to creative director. So we were working on campaigns, and I was guiding the team on the thinking behind what we needed to do. And I had the opportunity to run the agency that I was working for, and got to meet with the clients, put my suit on and go meet with the client and figure out what their business problem was, and then come back and take my tie off and get with the team to actually create the solution to drive money to that client. And so I guess from a business standpoint, I was always fascinated with how a business works, just like I'm fascinated with how a trick works. And in the process of doing a trick, you have to create some sort of wow for an audience, right? And so in business, if you're not creating a wow, then they're probably going to a competitor, or they're probably looking for another solution, whether it be a product or service. And so, they're both fun. And I guess my wife, she rolls her eyes. Like if we're driving around the neighborhood going somewhere and a new business opens up, I always look over and go, wonder what they do. Wonder how long they're going to make it. I wonder what their best dish is if it's a restaurant. I wonder what they sell. And so you just have to have an inquiring, inquisitive mind. And I think that's also part of magic. And, I've talked with a lot of different people that are in both worlds, and there seem to be a lot of similarities. Just like you said, your friend was kind of on the same path.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap, man. I'm serious, So first, how did you have the confidence to know that, hey, you know what? Man, I can do this. Because it takes a lot of confidence, because, like because you maybe mastered magic and you be like, hey, yeah, I got this, but I'm going to take these principles, and I'm going to go full steam ahead, and I'm not looking back. That takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah. Now you're talking about from the magic standpoint or from the business standpoint?
Business.
Yeah. So I think probably the performance aspect and being able to walk into a room and have something that I had rehearsed and knew that it was going to be cool to show somebody. That was sort of the mindset of literally being able to walk into a room of people and go, hey, do you want to see this trick? Because early on, I was hired to do what they call walk around magic, which sounds like kind of like street magic, like your friend was doing, where you might be hired for some sort of reception or business function, and it was your responsibility to go up to tables and introduce yourself and do a trick, right? And so you kind of just have to get over the fact that you don't know these people. But the fact that I've already done this trick 300 times, I know that they're going to like it once it's done. And so when I got into the business aspect of it, if you truly believe that your product or service is going to benefit that customer, then you should have no problem approaching someone and saying, hey, where are you from? What are you doing? let me learn more about you, and then being able to present your product or service. And so I think that training in magic gave me the confidence to be able to, from working at a variety of advertising agencies and marketing agencies, to be able to have a conversation with a prospective client, knowing in the back of my head that we had already gotten good results for other people using some combination of services that are in the tool belt of a marketing agency. And then just asking questions and navigating, where is their pain point? What is unique about that product or service? And then reflecting that back to them, and then almost putting on a show or putting together a performance of, here's how you're going to go into the marketplace and describe that. So I would say, just as a quick answer, that's probably where that comes from. And then when you have success in doing that, what's that breed? Excitement. You're like, wow, that was fun. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. And yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's what made you, well, first, before I move on, how long did you work for the agency before you decided to start your own agency?
Yeah. So so those promotional shows that I did went on for 16 years, all the way through high school, through college, out of college. While I was working, I worked at a number of agencies and sort of learned the trade. There was a time where I was doing everything myself with my own agency. And if you've ever been a solopreneur or worn many hats, that can be very tiring, because what do you have to do? You have to go out, you have to get the business, you have to then come back and do all the work associated with delivering on that. And then that becomes a cycle. And so actually right now I'm with a rather large agency, Thrive Agency, and I get the best of both worlds, because we still get to solve problems, but there's a team of 175 people that get to share that load and feel like we can impact even more people. So I've kind of been full circle, where I was with an agency, I went out on my own, I was a professional magician, and had the ability to run that business as a profit generating business. Run a marketing related business as well, and then be able to see the value in being part of a larger organization that honestly, we're not here to operate on our own. We have to have colleagues that can prop up what you might not be good at, or give you a second view on a problem or a situation that you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, I would say it's been a full breadth of experience across all those spectrums.
Yeah, that's great, man. You have a unique background, versus a lot of people that I meet. Because most people that if they work at an agency, they usually went to college, majored in marketing or communication.
Right.
And as soon as they got out of college, they maybe did an intern during college or after college, and then they'll get the job. That's usually the common route.
Right.
Yeah, but you have a very unique, in my opinion, really you have an advantage because you understand human nature. You understand what would get someone's attention. You understand customer service. We have a very unique perspective. But now here's the thing. One thing I noticed about the magician that I met years ago, a lot of people that they would use his background actually against him, because they would say, well, you ain't educated, you ain't got no you got no 4-year degree,
right?
They might say, well, yeah, you had a lot of success, and everything, but how do I know what is going to work for us? How do you respond to situations like that?
Yeah, I would say there has been many times in history where people are asking for credentials, but what business owners are asking for now is results. Yeah. And that's why testimonials and online reviews are vital for any kind of business, because nobody wants to be the first one to try out this thing that you think is going to work, right? And so when you can demonstrate expertise, I don't think it matters much about your background. And so if you're able to address the particular problem, and it doesn't have to be within the same industry, right? And so if you worked with a dentist and you're talking to a lawyer, there are certain agencies and marketing folks that specialize in, working with dentists or working with lawyers. We don't specialize in any particular industry because we believe there are basic principles that can be applied to any industry. And we have plenty of proof that shows that that's the case. And so when people come to us, they don't ask for the resumes of all the people. What they're asking for is, how do I know you're going to be able to do the work that you say that you're going to be able to do? And so I think that holds true for whether you have 100 people in your business or one person in your business. And being able to speak to that with confidence can get you through and navigate a lot of those things if the educational background or the training or the letters behind your name are not there. So
yeah, exactly. That's and the thing I always keep in mind that everybody's not for everybody.
Oh, of course.
That's just reality. That's so what one person thinks, the next person might think something completely different.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. The more true you can be to yourself and what you can do and how you do it, you're going to attract the folks that you want to work with, right? So if you're very outgoing and you've attracted someone who's very quiet, that person may frustrate you. And so you may, if you're not authentic and you're not letting people know exactly who you are through that sales process, you may end up with a bunch of clients that you grumble and groan on a Monday morning because you don't want to work with them. So yeah, you bring up a great point.
Yeah. So I guess in a perfect world, who would be your ideal client?
Yeah, I would say we love working with companies that are in growth mindset. I think there's an energy around a business that is always pushing to the next, height. I've personally worked with a lot of businesses who are sort of satisfied with where they are, and it's not very motivating, because if you're somebody who wants to try out new things or brings creative ideas to the table, they often get shot down because for whatever reason, that business is comfortable where they are. The other thing about a growth mindset is you're always looking for collaboration or improvement or maximizing results. And so I'm kind of a competitive person, so that feeds well into my personality. And then I think if a business, and we work with a lot of just mom and pop businesses, right? They might be one or two people and they've been in an area for a long time. We love being able to help those people. But if you're asking for an ideal client, I think some complexity that is part of it could be a multi-location business or a franchise organization that has lots of parts and pieces that sometimes overwhelm other companies because maybe they don't have the team that is familiar with navigating all the buttons and dials associated with how to get not only good results for the parent organization, but the individual organizations that are part of that overall organization. So yeah, I would say that's probably a good description.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So you've been around long enough to when it was no social media, right?
Oh, gracious. Boy, you're hitting to the core here. I've been around since computers weren't part of marketing. Yeah, exactly. You used to have to put everything in a typesetting machine and it would print out galley proofs, and then you would have to wax them and paste them down on a board and then take a picture of them. And it was painful. Yeah. And then of course, there was a fork in the road with, they called it desktop publishing back then, and the computers came into being. And I think we're sort of in that deja vu of AI and people going, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? And so I think we're at another fork in the road with AI. It's interesting to still be around during this second fork in the road. So yeah.
So how how do you think the internet and social media, how do you think it has affected business just in general? How people get clients, how people generate more revenue, and how you think it's and that's always pros and cons, but compared to when you first started, it's completely different.
Oh yeah. It used to be 3 networks: radio, newspaper, magazines, some direct mail, and the ability for a small business to make a dent in someone's perception of that business really depended on the budget of that organization. Did you have enough to put a TV commercial? How much is a radio spot going to cost? Maybe it's a black and white magazine, maybe not a color magazine. Is it a local instead of a national? That kind of thing. And so I think what happened, if we can just fast forward through the birth of the internet and how social media came to be, there is a perception that it's free and you should be able to, get the eyeballs of people. But what happens is when everybody thinks it's free and everybody thinks it's easy, there's a lot of clutter. There's a lot of noise. A lot of these social platforms are now publicly traded. They encourage pay to play instead of free exposure. And so the folks that are actually getting attention are able to understand that psychology. And so we've heard about stopping the scroll and what is your hook and how are you going to keep somebody interested for more than 30 seconds. Now you have to put in a little bit extra effort to think through, what does my audience actually want? What gives me the right to speak to them for more than 30 seconds? How am I going to intrigue them? And so I think we've lost a lot of that ability to connect with our audience, and people can say, oh, social media doesn't work, or SEO is dead now that AI is out. I think a lot of those people might be pushing the easy button and just putting out content that really doesn't beg anybody to care. Like, who wants to read all of this stuff that really doesn't mean anything? And so I think when you have a point of view and you are clear on that and you know exactly who can benefit from your product or service, you shouldn't be afraid to communicate that. And those are the brands that are getting attention. So I would say it's done a better job to allow people access to audiences they may have never had. But with that comes more responsibility to be thoughtful about that power that you have.
Yeah. I always say the internet has pros and cons, but it's also a blessing for people that are willing to go about it the right way and not abuse it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So if people wanted to get in touch with you and follow you online, where would they go to?
Yeah, so I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I made a promise that I'd produce a video every day, Monday through Friday this year. So I just give tips and various things. So connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a DM, let me know that you heard the show, and happy to chat about anything. And then thriveagency.com is the agency. We've got a lot of resources on there. We've been around for 20 years. And if anybody wants to chat about any kind of marketing needs or need a second opinion about something, happy to talk with you there. So
there you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Fall is all about cozy comforts, and with Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your favorites and still hit your health goals. From breakfast bagels and meal prepped enchiladas to mouth-watering burgers and cheesy noodles. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's FALL25 at hero.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.